Be watching me right now from a closet or under a desk. The time is now, friends. Let's get after it. You know what a Travis-mockery is? This is a Travis-mockery, a travesty of a sham of a mockery. It is a Travis-mockery, a travesty that is a sham and a mockery. And no, I didn't make it up. It's a great word. It comes from a beer commercial.
And he's an idiot jackahole. Wednesday, the New York Times ran an anonymous op-ed by a White House official trashing Donald Trump. Forget this, being Donald Trump. Yes, apparently he's a tough old boss. I'd say stop the presses, but Brian Stelter might accuse me of actually demanding the paper be closed. The guy takes everything literally. You tell him a knock-knock joke, and he looks for the door. So a lot of people want to know who Captain Anonymous is. So far, the people denying it's them are Mike Pence, Mike Pompeo, Mike Brady, Dan Coates, James Mattis, Flipper, Rick Perry, Ben Carson, Herbie the Love Bug, Gina Haspel, Kellyanne Conway, and Crackle from Snap, Crackle, and Pop. But the big scoop this week, some employees just don't like their boss. Yep, this is Pulitzer stuff. A boss known for being inquisitive and blunt is exposed as inquisitive and blunt. I know, it's terrible. He's rude. He doesn't say hi in the hallways. He once forgot my birthday. Yep, no giant chocolate chip cookie cake for me. But what really kills me, it's so obvious this dreck was written by a pissed off flunky, the assistant to the assistant regional manager. If you worked in an office, you know what I'm talking about. He's the guy who won't do the job he's asked to do, and his boss is pissed. And he should be pissed, you dumbass. How odd is it that Woodward's book and this piece appeared at the same time? Perhaps they're all from the same source. And that source is telling us that, yes, Donald Trump is a big meanie, a jerk, but also a highly competent one. Yet buried in this emotional screed is one searing admission: the country's safer and more prosperous under Trump. Yep, two meaningless variables: safety and prosperity. It's a shame Trump's done nothing about the real problems we face, like condiment water. You know, when you turn over the ketchup and mustard container and it looks like the bottle is peeing on your sandwich? Or how to get melted cheese off a plate when you forgot to rinse it the night before. It's like cement. You're there for days. I throw the plate out. Or when you run out of toilet paper and you end up having to use this. Or this. Or this. Yes. Nope, just prosperity and safety. Oh, well, the only two variables that matter are now reduced to a sentence, and yet that's one sentence cancels out everything else in this sucky piece. Fact, if it takes a jerk to make a country great, then hell, let's bring on the jerks. Yeah.
Hi, I'm Kathy Von Vandertrapp, and I'm running to be your senator. So there's about 4 years where I don't remember a thing. Like around 02 to 06, give or take a few years. Wow, I was drunk. One time, I got arrested for trying to board a riverboat naked, and that was at Disneyland. I was also in season 3 of Intervention. I'm the one addicted to window cleaner. And I'm still paying off my sister for crashing her car into an ATM in order to get money to buy an Xbox. So vote Kathy Von Vandertrapp for U.S. Senate.
Paid for by the Jerk Party.
So, this week's scoops are more of the same drivel. Absent of Russian collusion and faced with a great country becoming greater, it's now hallway whispers from underlings about a jerky boss. It's crybabies versus the jerk, and these crybabies pretend there were no jerks before Trump. Sorry, the people pushing a moral crisis today in previous campaigns were flinging in mud like chimps on Metamucil. Trump talks trash, but does so out in the open. He's a jerk. I'm a jerk. We need a new party for jerks.
Hey, it's me, Tim McTimmons. I want to be your next governor. In the early 80s, I made a number of films under an assumed name. I would call them art pictures, but hey, let's be honest, they were porn. And I'm not gonna lie, like serious porn. This stuff will curl your toes, folks. Anyway, I cleaned up my act and now I'm totally legit. Except for the robbery charges, which I pled no contest for. Right now, I just want to best serve you once I'm done serving time for last week's Drunk and Disorderly. So vote Tim McTimmons for governor.
Paid for by the Jerk Party.
All right. It's hard to be a jerk. It's hard to be a jerk, and that's the problem for Trump. For him, bedside manner is for losers because only failures need it. A bad doctor needs a great personality because he keeps losing patients. But Trump's all about good news. So let's assess. First, Trump was crazy. Then he was Hitler. Then he was racist. Now he's just a big meanie. Yep, a jerk. So what? Accept it. Embrace it. Hell, let's join the party.
Hi, I'm Rodney Razor Shorts. As you know, I'm running for Congress. And as Election Day nears, things are going to get pretty hot. So I guess I should get this off my chest. I am on my third marriage. The first two didn't go so well, probably because of the rampant philandering. My kids still hate me after I spent Christmas with that flight attendant. I live with my parents, mainly because I lost my life savings betting on illegal bare-knuckle boxing matches in my cousin's basement. All right, let's just say I have a few skeletons in my closet. And by that, I mean human bodies, devoid of flesh, that I keep as my personal trophies. Anyway, I figured this is all going to come out in the end anyway, so I might as well beat the press to it. So, you vote for Razor Shorts for Congress. Tell them Rodney sent you.
Paid for by the Jerk Party.
Let's welcome tonight's guests. She's my co-host on The Five, and she once dated a guy named Troy.
No, that's not true. That's not true. My mom told me when I was 13, don't go on the three-wheelers with those boys.
With Troy.
And now chiropractor.
Was one of them Troy?
No, it wasn't Troy. One of these days, we'll find out Troy's last name, and we will be reunited.
I hope he's hideous.
All right, he's not hideous, believe me that.
Call us, Troy. It's Dana Perino. If giggles were drugs, he'd be your favorite dealer. His new album is called Three's Comedy. Writer and comedian Joe DeVito. She's got a lot of spunk and likes to get crunk. National Review reporter Kat Timpf. His sneezes cause breezes. Former WWE superstar, my massive sidekick, Tyrus. All right, let's get started. Dana, what do you make of this whole article? You have a theory. Don't you have a theory about this?
Couple theories.
Yes.
A couple theories. Yeah, so usually if you are serving the President of the United States, you do it because you are an honorable person with dignity and integrity and class. This joker is not that. The New York Times decided to publish this. Okay, fine, whatever. It's free country, First Amendment. A senior administration official could be somebody as lowly as I used to be at the White House. When I was a deputy press secretary, that is the legit senior administration official. Also, it's not the White House, right? It's a senior administration official. That means across the entire government. Someone working for the EPA regional office out in Colorado, that could actually be this person. The other thing about it is that they say that they're being so effective. Right? They're being so effective protecting the country. If that's the case, keep your mouth shut.
Very good.
Just like, do it.
Yeah. All right. Joe, what gets me mad is I've been in a lot of companies and I know people like this that are like they don't like the boss and so they're passive aggressive. Well, why aren't you president then? Like you didn't run and you didn't win, so shut the F up.
Yeah. Nobody voted for this person, and I think it's strange that you can't act like you're a member of the resistance when you're still in the same health care plan as the evil empire you're fighting against. Yeah, if it's really that bad, become a former senior administration official, say your name, and go out there and make some real change. And I think it's interesting that they're saying, like, oh, we're keeping Trump away from doing any damage, though, even things are going well. Well, let's think this through. If things are going well, and people don't know this is happening, and Trump doesn't even know it's going to happen.
Keep doing it.
Yeah.
Keep doing it, and he's going to get elected for another 4 years.
Yes.
Because you made him look good, you dope. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, it doesn't. Kat, do you think there's a theory that actually there is no mole and that this was written by the New York Times? Could that be the answer here?
I don't know. I think it was written by a mole, but like Dana, I think that it's possible this is a very low-level person. It doesn't have to be a Mike Pence. It doesn't have to be a Kelly. I think, though, that we're eventually going to find out who this person is because, like I've said before, there's an entire genre of books that we're going to have, the disgruntled former employee of the Trump administration genre.
Yeah.
And I think that this person is probably just practicing.
Right?
This could be a good book proposal of sorts.
Exactly.
So I think eventually he'll want to come out and try to be a hero of the left, which he will be, even though he was maybe, you know, worked somewhere in the low-level agriculture department and is never...
I love the agriculture department.
You mean he's a farmer?
No, it was the first department that came to my head for some reason.
Why are you knocking farmers? They're great Americans.
How is that a knock to farmers?
I don't know. I just want to get angry letters directed at her.
Thank you.
I'm tired of them coming to me. All right, Tyrus, any thoughts on the jerk party? I feel like I could be the first candidate for the jerk party.
Yeah, you're the only candidate for the jerk party. Listen, everybody, I did it. And I have a reason why. I wanted to be press secretary for the day, and they wouldn't let me. So I read a couple pages of all the bad books, and I wrote a letter, and I sent it to New York Times. They didn't even call me. They just printed it. So
By the way, I'm going to accept that on face value, so it's up to the Times to dispute this, that Tyrus actually did this.
He wouldn't let me be press secretary for the day, so I told how horrible it would be to work for him.
I do believe it's an opinion piece by a pissed-off underling.
Omarosa did it. If I didn't do it, it was Omarosa.
I know,
but I did it.
I will say that it is possible this person will unveil himself before this show airs, and then.
Well, the other thing is that
he just did. I don't understand why this is so difficult. I did it.
Okay,
it's true.
I have it saved on my notes on my iPhone. I'll give it to you after the show.
What are you gonna say, last
Well, I was just gonna say that that this is a person who is being given the advantage of being called a senior administration official. That is worth something because while you have the benefit and the power there, you can bet that this person is out scouting for their next private sector job, of which they're probably going to have a higher salary, a higher title, more power, and so it's a real jerk move.
Yeah, it is a jerk move.
Yeah, because it didn't work. I didn't get the thing. You guys not looking.
Contributing editor at Vanity Fair will be the new title. 6 figures, maybe low 7s.
For real?
Yes.
Okay, then I did it.
Up next, was this woman sending a secret racist message on TV during the Brett Kavanaugh hearings? Or just scratching her arm? Probably scratching her arm, but let's do this segment anyway. The outrage lingers over her fingers. It was the first day of the Kavanaugh hearings when on Twitter, oddballs accused the wife of a U.S. attorney of flashing a white power sign. One dope, Amy Siskind, accused Zena Bash of this sin and was retweeted all over. A social media mob then ferociously targeted the woman whose grandparents were Holocaust survivors, people who knew a mob when they saw one. But once the panic was exposed, did the pitchfork pinheads walk it back? Well, Siskind deleted her tweet, not because she said it was wrong, but because it distracted from Trump's white supremacist policies. This is pure mob action. When your accusation is debunked, you mutter, well, my heart was in the right place, and then run off to target someone else, the blood on your pitchfork still dripping. Because the mob's always got a thirst for scalps. And without the swarm, these lonely people are just idle cranks. By the way, Thursday night, Zena Bash made the sign again. And the tweet started again. Is she trolling? Is she racist? Or is she just telling someone, okay? Let's look at the tape.
That's dictated from above or by the government.
I think someone asked her how big a golf ball was. Anyway, it makes me wonder, what other hand gestures have we overlooked?
It happened at the Brett Kavanaugh confirmation hearings. We were told that former Kavanaugh law clerk Zena Bash was captured on camera, contorting her fingers in a secret-coded sign to white supremacists. Was this a singular offense, or just a piece of a sinister, unsolved puzzle? Zena Bash appeared to make the OK gesture on September 4th. 4, the number of fingers infamously held up by President Nixon as he departed the White House. What was Nixon secretly trying to tell us? If you subtract 4 slices from a whole pizza, you get half, which resembles a half moon. This was the lunar phase on February 13th, 1970, the same day heavy metal band Black Sabbath released their debut album. Later, Black Sabbath vocalist Ronnie James Dio would be the first to popularize the devil horns hand gesture in rock music. That same gesture is known as the hook'em horns to cheer on the University of Texas in Austin, Texas, where George W. Bush governed before winning the presidency. Could Ms. Bash be trying to tell an unwitting America that it's been governed by a secret cabal of Satanists, bent on turning this Christian nation into a hellish fire pit of relentless sin and excruciating chaos? And who could be behind this? Well, who worked for George W. Bush? We don't know. We're just asking questions.
2 for 2 today. All right, I got to go to you, Tyrus, first, because have you ever made a hand gesture that people
Would you like one right now? Listen, I saw it. I thought she was playing a game I used to play in school called Scoper. You'd put like this, and someone looked like, oh, Scoper, quit looking. So it's like a thing, I think. And then her buddy was like, do it again. She's like, oh, God. So I think she said okay to the person who asked the question, because they're back there trying to like fact find and do work for him while he's getting asked the ridiculous questions. So she might say okay.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's probably what it was. But yeah, people want to know what this is all the time, and you should. And I'm not going to tell you. So I mean, it cracks me up. She said okay.
Dana, was it smart for her to troll people at the end? I mean, actually, maybe she wasn't.
Sure.
Maybe she wasn't.
Well, it doesn't look like it. When you play the actual tape, it sounds like she's like, oh, yeah, okay, got it.
Yeah.
That, it's a way because you have to be silent during the hearings.
Yeah.
So you have to use a signal. We all know what this means.
Right.
It means, okay, it is not white supremacy.
Yeah.
But if she was trolling, I mean, I'd send her $100.
Joe, what do you make of the hearings and this in particular?
I think clearly the solution is some sort of hand burqa, so that no one gets distracted. You have to keep in mind that this gesture as a white supremacist gesture is complete nonsense. It was a joke that was started on 4chan about a year ago, whereas doing this has been in Hindu and Buddhist cultures for thousands of years or so. But yeah, the idea that suddenly white supremacists are, what are they having, a membership drive? Where like, let's get the Mexican Jews in.
She's a Mexican Jew!
The whole thing is nonsense, and I don't worry about it because my fist, I'm in New York all the time, so my hands are just curled into impotent rage is more my problem.
So, Kat, you have one of two options. You can talk about the hand, or you can talk about Cory Booker, and I could roll some tape. What would you like to talk about?
I mean, I really do want to talk about the hand.
Then let's talk about the hand.
I'm really disturbed that people are looking that closely at other people's hands. Because I really need a manicure. And I don't want to go, because that part at the end where you have to just sit there like this for what feels like forever, I mean, it is an oppressive amount of time where you're just left there with nothing but your own thoughts.
I know. And looking in the mirror.
Looking in the mirror, you can't vape. You can't tweet, you can't text, you're just sitting there like this, and for who? So other people looking at your fingers will be satisfied? I say I'm done with it!
Wow, that was almost as impressive as Cory Booker. Do we have time to roll Cory Booker?
I'm going to release the email about racial profiling, and I understand that the penalty comes with potential ousting from the Senate. And if Senator Cornyn believes that I violated Senate rules, I openly invite and accept the consequences. This is about the closest I'll probably ever have in my life to an I am Spartacus moment.
All right, so now he will never be known by any other name but Spartacus. He gave himself his own nickname, and that really sucks. Yeah. I feel bad for him. Also, we talked about this on the 5 yesterday, that he's basically saying I'm taking a risk for something that was approved.
Yeah, I said that it's like insisting that you're going to pay for the breadsticks at Olive Garden. And then they say, oh, but they're free. And it's like, no, I'm going to pay. I'm going to pay. I kind of do imagine it would be fun if Trump and Cory Booker were the candidates in 20.
Oh, it would be amazing. Amazing.
Spartacus, the nicknames.
Yeah, and if VP was Pocahontas, Spartacus Pocahontas.
Why are you saying she would be the VP?
Oh, Pocahontas. Yeah, I was sexist there, wasn't I?
You
I was
really
sexist. All right. We'll end on that note. Coming up, is Trump I just spit on myself. Is Trump making people sad, angry, or crazy? USA Today says all of the above. That's next. Let there be no doubt, Trump is flipping people out. USA Today, America's hotel room doormat, interviewed folks of all political stripes and concluded that, quote, they are finding it hard to escape the daily drama coming out of the White House. Those interviewed complained that we've become more tribal, that there's no more middle ground, and they still get no Wi-Fi in their bathroom. One guy said he joined Twitter after the election just to keep up with Trump's tweets, and now, quote, I start off every day in a bad mood. He said, I joined just to pay attention. Now I'm sick of paying attention. So are we overdosing on Trump? Maybe. So the next time you feel overwhelmed and tired of winning, watch this and feel better. Yeah, can't beat that. Hey, you know, Kat, you start off every day in a bad mood.
Right.
So have you noticed any difference since Trump's been elected?
No. Yeah, I wake up every day in a bad mood because I'm alone with my thoughts. You know? But I think that if you're going to be devastated all the time, you should really be devastated about something like hunger or loneliness or death.
Yes.
You know, not like, oh, I kind of don't like the president. You know,
yeah.
It just seems kind of ridiculous. I know a lot of conservatives did not like President Obama. A lot of people really did not like President Obama. But I did not hear people walking around unable to live their lives because Obama was the president.
Apparently you never watched Fox and Friends.
Well, I guess. I actually always watch Fox and Friends.
Oh, I cracked myself up, Tyrus.
Oh, man. Killing me is going to be mad at you.
Oh, yeah. I'm going to get an email tomorrow from someone.
Yeah.
All right. No, it's Sunday, though. They don't email on Sundays, unless they're really upset. Trump, Tyrus, I almost called you Trump.
Tomato, whatever.
Because, you know, you are a winner as well.
Yeah, I am a winner. But I think I'm a winner because when I wake up, usually I got a kid going, Daddy, I want this. Or someone saying, you should have done that. Or messages going, I didn't get this. By the time I get to Trump, my day's screwed already. So, I mean, I guess that's just a sign of the time we're living in the economy. Because when things are good, you have time to bitch about things that have absolutely nothing to do with your life.
That is so
like
true.
When you get, it's not, unless you live in the White House and every morning or he doesn't sleep and he's up at 3 a.m. messing around and waking you up, then I think you can be like, listen, this presidency's not working for me because this won't go to bed at night. Then you have a reason to be mad at Trump. Because nothing pisses us off more than someone who keeps us up at night.
Yeah, it's true.
So that would cause me to be depressed. But I don't live in the White House.
Yeah.
I can't even get a one-day job at the White House, so he doesn't affect me. I got my own problems. I got 99 problems, but Trump in the morning ain't one.
That's a song.
It is.
That is a song. All right. I have a theory, Joe, that Trump is like a new discovered weather pattern that you never had. It's like, so when you wake up, it's like you usually think about, how hot it's going to be, but you also have to check for Trump. Like, is there an 80% chance of a cold Trump? or 20% of a windy Trump. You know, it's like it's just another variable that you wake up in the morning and you go, oh, how's the Trump doing?
Do I need to bring an umbrella?
Yes, I need a Trump umbrella.
Here's what I recommend. The way I start every day is I wake up and I tell myself, imagine if this was really happening. And that gets me to breakfast. And for breakfast, I have a Red Bull and NyQuil and let them duke it out until lunchtime. The problem people are having is that the technology has enabled them to act like a bunch of babies. They're just freaking out about everything. What you need to remember is that there are people who disagree with you who are kind, thoughtful, honest people, and there are people who agree with you who are horrible pieces of garbage. And once you can accept that, you'll get through life much happier. And if you look at what went on with the Me Too movement, that was supposed to bring down Donald Trump. But it turned out a lot of these lefty-leaning people had these real scummy dudes in their midst who said all the right things. You remember Harvey Weinstein, when he got popped, said, I'm going to devote my time taking on the NRA. And you realize, that's not the right answer to the question we're asking.
Yes.
So remember that people who disagree with you can be good people. You are not right all the time, and they might know something you don't. And that will make you a lot happier.
Strong words. Why do men with beards always sound so smart? Dana, I believe that this has to do with all the new media outlets. Like if Trump was a president in '84, '88, we just look at him as the president that you like tune in for once a year.
So in the morning, you flip on a little Good Morning America.
Oh.
Like in '84 or
yes.
What was the other one? Today's Show?
Today's Show, right.
And then maybe you would get the paper.
Yeah.
And then when you drove to work, you might turn on the radio for 20 minutes, tops.
Yes.
Then you would work all day.
Right, exactly.
And then when you got home, you might watch a half an hour of the news.
Yes.
And then you would turn to your sports or your sitcoms or your other things that you watch, you know, things like that. And then you go to bed.
Yes.
But now you are. I check in the morning because I want to know if it's polar vortex Trump or hurricane Trump.
Yes.
Because that's going to determine my day.
Yeah.
But you know what really drives a lot of people in my life crazy? I wake up in a good mood every day, and I wake up fast. I don't need caffeine. I'm like, all right, let's go. Let's like 25 stories. We've got to read the. And my producer for the daily briefing is probably a little irritated with me.
Yeah. It irritates me just hearing about it.
That's why I said it.
Yeah, that's the opposite. I need.
I would plot your death. I'd like have a bear trap when you happily wake up. Just, oh, are you still happy? Still feel good? Here's some lemon juice. You still want to smile?
You know, your point, though, about working all day is the difference, because we still work all day, but in front of us is everything that we need to keep monitoring Twitter and Facebook and TMZ and everything else. But when you went to work in the 80s, you were at work.
And all this week, I got emails from people saying, do you know who the anonymous op-ed writer was? No, I don't. And I actually don't really care.
I already cleared that up.
Oh, yeah.
Why will anybody ever believe
me?
All right.
It is you.
Up next, Viking River Cruises has banned all children, which means my babysitting business is going to take off big time. Look who's not on the cruise. Viking, the luxury river cruise line, not the Scandinavian pirates who raided most of Europe. I often get confused. Say it's banning kids from their voyages. And if you bring them with you, Viking will throw them overboard into a caged pool of ravenous sharks. It's kind of harsh, but hey. They go on to explain that they cater to travelers who are 50 and older with mature interests like history and art. And while in the past Viking has allowed children on board, quote, increasingly our guests have told us how much they appreciate an environment where they can travel without children. Translation, kids suck and ruin everything. Don't applaud. You were once a child. For the Vikings' perspective, we turn to my friend, Thor. I, for one, hope he does not have children. Joe, what are your thoughts on this? You don't have kids.
I don't. I would like to have kids one day, but just for the one day. Well, keep in mind there were no children on the original Viking ships either.
No, they sailed to make new ones. Yeah.
They did. And no women, they relaxed that policy either. I agree with that. There are places where I, as an adult, want to go where there aren't children running around. And as soon as, I hate to say, as soon as I saw it was for 50 and older, I'm not 50 yet, but I looked up their webpage to see. I wonder if that ship doesn't even pull out. It just pulls up in front of a lawn and you yell at young people to get off of it, get off of it. I would sign up immediately.
Dana, is it, everybody's trying to blame kids for their misery, but isn't that part of the deal? They're kind of a burden. Because
you got to teach them things.
Yeah, you got to
teach them. They gotta have. I like them around sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes.
Take them things. I would go on this cruise. I've never been on a cruise, but I would do this cruise because you get to go to lectures and learn things.
Of course.
And so
there's a library.
Yeah, and I want to go on that.
Yes, of course you do. You just want to go to a library that's in the ocean.
And learn things.
And learn things. You can take a break from learning. It's not, just stop learning for a little bit, I guess. Tyrus, you're the only one here who's reproduced.
Yeah. I've reproduced well. I'm a good reproducer. I'm damn good at reproducing. I could reproduce right now. Listen, I've never, let's start a line at the end.
No, stop it.
Y'all want to make babies? Y'all want a little black baby? Let's do this. They'll be tall, effective, good learners, athletic.
Good learners?
Yeah.
Could you please just go and make a point?
A few of you older ladies, there's still time. That's my fan base. That's my fan base. Yes. You can be 60 and carrying this. You can do this. We'll get you a wheelchair, some vitamins. Well, you want to go there? You think I'm afraid?
I didn't go there. I just called.
Oh, you're reproducing. Fine.
Kids.
Just line them up.
I said you had
1-800 Tyrus knock you up. Let's do this. Let's do this. Let's do this.
Oh, I feel bad for the editors tonight. All right, Tyrus. Does it bother you that a cruise line would discriminate against kids?
No, because I do. I mean, I'll be honest with you. I'll be like, go outside, stay in front of me. We're gonna have a problem. Like, get away from me. Like, I love my children, but they're a work in progress.
Yeah.
So some of their skills aren't that great. But honestly, I don't like boats anyways.
Yes.
Cruise because I don't fit in them.
Yeah.
There's no room for me.
Yeah.
So it's actually, I would prefer if they made one just for kids, so I can send my kids away.
Yeah.
On a boat.
Like a tugboat. That's
like they just go. I don't care what kind of boat, just go.
Kat, I believe all of this is pointless because once robots and AI take over, reproduction will be irrelevant.
Really? That's my question.
Yes. I was trying to find a safe way out.
I don't want to talk about robots.
No, okay.
I think it's a good thing. I think that more companies should be offering children-free experiences. If I ever get very rich, I want to start my own airline called Party Bro Airlines.
Really?
Where there are no children, and all the drinks have booze in them, and there's karaoke, and the vaping is not only allowed but encouraged, and all the flight attendants have to wear togas, bedsheet togas.
Wow.
You'd fly that.
I think I have, actually.
Yeah.
Either that or it was just a bad trip. I don't know.
Greg, without the children, if they sink, it's just women first. We've got more of a shot to survive.
That's a brilliant point. Yes.
And also, you and I get choice of booster seats in the dining room, which is nice.
It was going so well. Up next, the week's most divisive story that rocked America this week. That's a tease. That means don't go to bed. And now, a Gutfeld 4-minute special investigation.
A Gutfeld 4-minute special investigation.
Why not? She's the biggest offender of grossly dunking a chicken tender. The nation's gag reflexes were tested this week after a woman was caught on camera dipping a chicken tender into cola. Then, of course, eating it. an act as fascinating as it is disgusting, like when I ate a can of raw creamed corn and chased it with a bottle of Mrs. Butterworth. And I was sober. The question is why? Why dunk chicken in cola? She claims her father taught her this technique in order to cool off the chicken tender. Oh. Smart move, because the other way to cool off food doesn't always work. We've all been there, right, Dana?
Yeah, you know, it's terrible when you burn your tongue.
Oh, yeah. Unless you're into that sort of thing. We don't want to offend the tongue burners.
I never have thought of dunking anything in cola to cool it off.
But you know what's gross about it? Okay, so she has to have 2 sodas, one for dunking and one for drinking, because you can't... Why? You're going to drink the dunking one with the grease in it? That's sick.
Look, I haven't had a Diet Coke in a year, and I am a little bit on edge. I have the shakes about it. So I watch her do that, and I think, I'd drink that.
Wow.
After she dunked it in there.
Well, I mean, you actually, to be fair, you eat like a bird, meaning you like to dig for worms in the soil and then feed it to other birds.
Yeah.
Thank you for laughing at that.
On the second time.
Yes. Kat, would you try this? Do you have any weird eating habits? You eat across from me in the hall.
Yes. I mean, I like pineapple pizza.
Ugh.
I like to put mustard on egg sandwiches.
Gross.
One time I put relish on popcorn.
Oh.
And I have to say I quite enjoyed it. Yeah, the butter and relish complement each other well, but this is an abomination. And what's even worse is that you see in the video she did it in front of a child.
Yes, I know.
And I thought we were supposed to be protecting our children from seeing disgusting and disturbing things, not doing it right in front of them. I mean, that video should be rated R.
It should be.
So disturbing, no one should be allowed to watch it. I'm a big horror movie fan, and I've never seen anything that disturbed me quite like that.
You know what it is? Joe, if you look at it closely, it is like it's the wrong mix, because you need that's not a sauce.
Yeah, it's
a carbonated soda.
Yeah. You know you're eating chicken tenders wrong when a child is mortified by what you're doing.
Yes.
They exist on chicken tenders.
She made chicken tenders anti-chicken tenders.
Yeah. Well,
I don't know what that means.
She even admitted that she was hungover, so I appreciate her honesty that you're just trying to get as much salt and sweet and fat into you to distract your body from the punishment.
Do you have any weird things that end up in your beard?
Well, I don't think it's weird, but I do think if you're eating alone in a restaurant and someone gets up to use the restroom, you can eat a fair amount of their food before they come back. You've got time. There's time.
I thought you were going to say you actually eat in the bathroom. I had a friend of mine who worked for Runner's World who used to eat corn in the bathroom.
Why? What?
I don't know, to save time, because he knew it was going to come out anyway.
Come on.
I don't know why. I don't know why corn has the the carpool pass for your intestine, but it never seems to have to go through the toll booth. Not like the other food that comes through. Tyrus, save me here. Do you have any odd...
So you had issues with my breeding talk, but you're cool. We're talking about your corn talk.
Well, you know what? I'm not talking about my corn talk.
Okay.
I'm talking about the royal corn talk.
The other guy who ate just corn in the bathroom.
Yes.
We're privy to just that information. I think we're missing the whole point. I don't know if we have time to go back to the video, but if we could slow motion the video, it appears to be a double dip.
Oh!
If you looks like she took a bite and then went back and double dipped. I think that's more offensive, because she said if it was truly to cool it off. There we go. Look, it's already a bite mark on that bad boy.
Yeah.
There it is. See the bite? Yeah. That's a double. And the child even said, look at the kids. She double dipped. Can you believe that? That's a double dip situation.
I also don't see 2 sodas. I just see one.
No, it's just
that's
one.
What I'm saying. She was drinking out of that soda.
I think fake news, I think, we need to, she's not keeping it real. Just say, listen, I like to dip my chicken in Coke.
Yeah. I mean, how many times have I said that? It's like, I don't...
we just can't get out of it.
I know. No, I was talking more, it was like a kind of a drug euphemism.
Right.
Richard Pryor did, he blew up. She did it for the children. It's all good.
All right, don't go anywhere. Final thoughts next.
Final thoughts. It's the last thought. That's why it's called the final thoughts, okay?
Dana.
I don't have a final thought. I love being on the show. Thank you.
Oh, how nice of you. Joe.
If you're watching this, I will be at the Borgata in Atlantic City through Wednesday. And check out Three's Comedy, the new album. You can get it on iTunes and on Amazon.
Fantastic.
Tyrus, I got a new series out on the USA Network called The Purge. Check it out. Kind of scary TV series.
You in the big role?
Yes, sir. So
awesome.
Check it out.
The Purge.
Yep.
And it's not on the Food Network.
No.
Well, I want to one up Tyrus.
What?
I've never had a cavity.
Oh!
Neither have I.
God, I've had more cavities than I care to remember.
Yeah, I never have had a cavity. Yeah.
How'd this happen? Thanks to Dana Perino, Joe DeVito, Kat, Tyrus, studio audience. I'm Greg Gutfeld. I love you.